That's the story. Deepathoon Row, the Madras High Court stops contempt action. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has stayed multiple orders passed earlier by a single judge in the Deepathoon dispute at Thiruparankundram Hill in Madurai. The division bench also made strong remarks that courts should not become a political platform while hearing the case. The Madurai bench has stayed several directions issued earlier by Justice G.R. Swaminathan in contempt proceedings related to the Karthigai Deepam issue. The contempt petitions were filed over the alleged non-compliance of the 1st December 25 order directing lighting of the Karthigai Deepam at the Deepathoon atop Thiruparankundram Hill. A division bench comprising Justices N. Satish Kumar and M. Jyoti Raman passed the interim stay while hearing a batch of letters patent appeals filed by the police authorities, temple officials and representatives of the Sikandar Baducha Dargah. Among the key directions stayed was the 4th of March suggestion, allowing 5 persons to offer symbolic prayers at the Deepathoon for 15 minutes. The court also extended an earlier interim stay granted on other appeals filed by the district collector and the city police commissioner against interim orders issued in December. Now, during the hearing, the division bench advised all stakeholders not to escalate the issue and observed that courts should not be used as a political platform. It also made clear that the matter should be decided strictly on legal principles and not on political considerations. Meanwhile, the Dargah representatives have sought the transfer of the case from Justice G.R. Swaminathan, alleging bias. They also challenged another interim order in which the judge had criticized the lying of the Dargah flag on a tree located on temple property. Temple authorities have also filed appeals challenging related directions, which the division bench declared maintainable and granted interim stay. The matter has now been adjourned to 4th of June for further hearing. Let's now go and understand what really happened. It was a big story. C. Rajasekaran has joined us, who's a political analyst and president of Voice of Tamil Nadu, but most importantly, he's a lawyer. And yet another lawyer, Satish Kumar, advocate of the Madras High Court, has also joined us. Thank you, gentlemen. Vanakkam to both of you for joining us. Satish, your opening comments on this. Remember, there was a big call for impeaching G.R. Swaminathan, and I want to ask you about, to explain it to the viewers, where the honorable judges have said, don't make the court as a political football ground. You know, not to that effect, but something like that. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Sudha. Because today the matter has come for an appeal against the order on the contempt proceedings.
Yes.
It is not the original issue, it is a contempt proceedings.
Yeah.
First
Yeah,
of all,
sure.
our viewers will understand that. Yes, in the contempt proceedings, initially the single bench passed an order by giving a suggestion that at least not as a penalizing act, it's only as a suggestion was given by the single judge in the contempt proceedings. Why don't you allow at least 5 people to light the lamp as a symbol of giving respect to the order? That was a suggestion. It's only a suggestion, not a direction or an order. It's a suggestion given by the honorable judge on that matter. However, surprisingly, the other respondents, they all filed an appeal against the contempt proceedings. In that contempt proceedings, even the Tamil Nadu government's AG and the Dargah lawyers and also the other petitioners, the appellants, they all say that no, it is truly against the religious sentiments and all those things, and they raise their voice saying that the matter has come that to being in a election situation. That time the court got agitated, saying that you cannot link the election situation for the legal proceedings. There only they got agitated and they openly said, don't bring the political issues here because it's purely a legal proceedings. What we are going, we will go only by the principles and the legal proceedings against the contempt orders passed by the single judge. Maybe it's a multiple order or single order. We are going one purely against the legal principles, not against seeing the situation whether it's there is a political game involved in this or there is a election issue is going on. So I really appreciate the honorable Madurai bench in this matter, saying that they express their strong view that at any point of time on any issue, the political scenario, all the political pressure cannot be embedded into the judicial proceedings. That way, I really appreciate the Honorable High Court today what happened.
Okay, Rajasekharan, I want to bring you in here, Rajasekharan. If I remember, you both are lawyers, you are fantastic. But if I remember, there was also the Honorable Judge Swaminathan said that it is according to the convention. You know, allow them to go up and light the lamp. The entire issue was there a convention or not? I look at it as part of where the Honorable Judge said it is also to respect religious practices. But was there a religious practice at all? Was there a convention, you know, to light a lamp on the Deepathoon? The entire issue actually became like that. I saw that at the Thiruparankundram, on the day, there was a big chaos also. There was a large crowd also. Of course, political party says you got your party members. Point of the matter is, where we light a lamp or where we read the Quran, it should not be desecrated by us claiming it. You know, decode this for us, Rajasekharan. I look at it as maybe overzealousness, you know, on the part of both the judge as well as perhaps with due respect to him, sir, and also on the part of those who said he should be impeached.
Good evening, Sudha.
Hi.
Today, the division bench of the Madurai High Court has heavily come down on the appeal filed before them with regard to the original petition which the Justice G.R. Swaminathan had passed, and he himself, who passed an order, he himself becomes a party to the contempt proceedings suo motu. He takes up that contempt and he says, it's not a suggestion, it is a strong observation which could become an order in the due course of the hearing, which was anticipated by the division bench. And the judge should not, any judge for that matter, should not cross the Lakshman Rekha. As the saying goes, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. A judge of any high court or a lower court or the apex court should not take sides with any party for that matter, be it a religious, caste, civil issue, criminal issue, any matter. A judge should be above board. And in this case, very, very unfortunate and sad, being a lawyer practicing in the Madras High Court, I am really saddened to understand that a judge has taken a stand before any order passed, and he started advising and suggesting and making observation and directing, giving directions, saying that Deepathoon, and he himself physically went to the Thiruparankundram hill, and he said, this is that Deepathoon where I want to think as a Hindu. All this is ridiculous, and it shouldn't be encouraged. And very rightly and wisely, the Honorable Division Bench stayed the order and also gave a strong observation, made a strong observation that the court should not be used as a political tool for any political party through an order. So all this put in a nutshell. Again, I reiterate, taking sides and following an ideology is not a crime. But as an individual, as a lawyer, I can do it because I don't hold any constitutional authority or position. But a judge of a high court, he should set an example, he should set a precedent. And the impeachment was right. And of course, the parties didn't have the MPs, the number of MPs they didn't have to impeach a judge, so it failed. So that is fine. That is a due process in a democracy. But fact of the matter is, a judge, be it any judge or a lower court judge or a high court justices, they should maintain the decorum and the dignity of the high court and the respective courts, and they should not fall prey to any kind of these kind of
yeah, because ultimately, you know, ultimately it was politicized to such a big extent.
Yes,
he ate biryani there. Did he eat biryani? Did he eat chicken? Who is he? You prove it, you did not eat biryani. You know, the Sandanakudam festival that the Muslims do there for decades now. Everything, ultimately, people living in Thiruparankundram, Satish, said, we've never had these problems. Where is this coming from? Satish, I want to bring to your notice after what Rajasekaran said and really elaborated on it, that, you know, everyone working who's a constitutional position should be above Caesar's wife. I want to ask you, Satish, if you look at the order which was given by the district collector, this is dated 4th December 2025, that, you know, at that time he had restricted access to the hill. At that time, the honorable prohibitory order, Justice Swaminathan had said that if officers are allowed to defy court's orders in this fashion, it will lead to anarchy. What anarchy? Don't you think?
No. Sudha, first of all, you should understand the judicial proceedings. The court has passed an order. After passing an order in which the collector also was one of the party, if at all he wants to say anything, he has to come and say before the court. He cannot use his own power or control and pass a prohibitory order. If at all he is going to passing a prohibitory order.
Your question, yeah, I got it. The DM can't do it out of his own volition. But can a judge, if he has some political and religious beliefs, say that this is how it should be done? Because this is according to the Shastras. I'm asking you a question, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Because when the matter was in detail, the merits of the case have been discussed. After that, the court is passing an order. The collector, he must have adhered the order, or he must have said that in the court itself, he cannot pass a prohibitory order out of the court using his own personal discretionary power. That is absolutely against the law of the land. He should not have done that. That's why during the next proceedings, the Honorable High Court, Justice G.R. Swaminathan has quashed that prohibitory order also, because he cannot use that prohibitory order was totally against the law. When the order has been passed by if every officer using his own power against the order or above the order of a judiciary system, then it will collapse the entire system. So I think it is very unfortunate. The collector has set a precedent which is absolutely illegal and unlawful. So there we should understand, Sudha, very clearly, the prohibitory order passed by the collector is absolutely illegal and unlawful. If at all he wanted to say anything, he would have said in the court presence itself, not out of the court. That is purely, he was backed by the political pressure. For that only he did that. This is absolutely unlawful. That was even observed by the single court in the contempt proceedings also. Please understand, because of that only, even the matter has gone to the appeal before Justice Jayachandran bench. In the Jayachandran bench has upheld the order of the single bench. So in that case, it indirectly means that the prohibitory order passed by the collector is illegal. You should.
All right. You know, let me come to Rajasekaran.
Saying that the prohibitory order, after seeing the merits of the case, only judge has passed an order.
Right.
First of all, we should understand.
We will all you're all judges. So I mean, you're all lawyers. So you know, I'm just trying to decode it for the viewers. What happened that day? What happened in January? What happened in October?
Now I am coming to the point what Mr. Rajasekaran said, that he was talking about impeachment. This is absolutely not required at all, and it is going against one single judge. That is not a good practice in the legal system, and we have seen so many cases previously also. But this is a judicial system. We have to give due respect to the judicial system.
Of course, we have to give respect, but I can't suddenly say that I dreamt of a god in my dreams, you know, and I did this accordingly. This is not. No. I don't agree. I don't agree. I'm a believer. I don't agree at all. This is all ridiculous. You go by the judicial process only. That is what the Constitution protects me, not because I'm a particular gender or I belong to a particular caste or a religion. This is incorrect. This is what I want to ask. Then how come, much like what Satish said, you know, Rajasekaran, how was it Jayachandran, Justices and K. Ramakrishnan, they upheld the single judge direction? You know, the thing is, everything has a cascading impact. I'm not saying that what has been upheld by, let us say, the Sessions Court will not be overturned by the higher court. But the point of the matter is, they said very categorically, the Deepathoon area that is on the lower peak of the hill belongs to the temple. They said it very clearly. Now, either we go by the Archaeological Survey of India, or what is this? A bunch of people can't decide, no?
Sudha, I'll tell you, you raised a very pertinent question. See, that was in a different context and a different order.
Yeah, okay.
Now this bench, which has stayed the order of G.R. Swaminathan on a different footing, different point. So don't confuse both the orders. So it was what Satish says with regard to collector. I totally agree with him and I totally concede. But the same yardstick, same legal bearing is applicable to G.R. Swaminathan, Judge of Madurai High Court, because he has violated the oath which he took when he took charge as a judge, and he is violating the legal process, the constitution, because whatever the collector did is wrong means whatever the G.R. Swaminathan has passed an order is
Satish,
wrong.
that's
wrong.
what I asked Satish Kumar.
That's what I'm trying to say. I am not blindly
I
supporting
take oath
anybody.
in the name of God.
I go by the merits.
I take
if
oath
there
in
is
the name
merits,
of God.
say, I'll tell you, don't mock the judiciary, don't mock the Indian constitution, don't mock the people, democracy by saying all this. See, when you take a oath, you go by the Indian constitution. You say, I am above all caste, creed, I will not take sides,
Yeah.
all religion,
Fear or
I will
affection.
do justice to
Yeah.
See, that is what
Yes.
everybody does
Yes.
as a
Yes.
parliamentarian, as a judge, and you go sit on the chair, you get permanent in that position, and you take sides, you say Vedas, Shastras, Hindu mythology. I am not questioning Hinduism, I am not questioning anybody's faith. Let me make it very clear.
Me too.
I am not against any religion.
Yes.
I am not against any religion. I love to be with all religions united together. But a judge of a high court should set an example, not mock the whole system sitting on the highest pedestal. That is my humble suggestion and humble submission. See, fact of the matter, again, I want to reiterate, whatever the collector did is wrong. Whatever the High Court Judge G.R. Swaminathan did is absolutely wrong. Both are equally
I strongly oppose Rajshekhar, because see, in what way you are saying that it is absolutely, this matter especially, we all understand very clearly, it is purely a question of land dispute and who the land marking of the areas.
Another
So,
angle to it.
the-
No, Satish. Don't bring that landmark. No.
Absolutely.
This year you're taking it
only
somewhere
that's
else.
the matter.
You hit the ball out of the stadium. Don't. I am allowing you to. No, Satish, my friend. Let's stay track. Let's stay on track, sir.
Yes.
We are talking about
Yes,
constitution. We're talking
Sudha,
about equality before that book. No, your Shastras, Upanishads, all is very well.
Sudha,
But
I'll
law
want to
above
debate.
everything else. Yeah, come in.
See, I'll tell you what these people, I mean, I'm not against personally against anybody for that matter, but I want to say, my friend on the panel should understand, if he's not able to convince the viewers and convince you on the question of law and the practices and the tradition, he goes around now saying that he wants to confuse by saying that land is disputed, the land belongs. See, I'm not questioning the land. It has to be decided in a civil suit, not by the High Court judge. High Court judge has no powers to decide on a civil matter.
You know, I
sitting
want to
on
quickly
a
ask,
petition
yeah.
with regard to lighting a lamp in Deepathoon.
Exactly.
How can he take up a matter to light that too by a right-wing BJP supporter files, Rama Ravi Kumar, who goes to the court where there was no prohibitory order then when the petition was
These
filed.
political people should be deciding our fate. I reject it.
Yes, absolutely.
I reject it.
Absolutely.
In that case,
They're not.
Yes.
No, they are not the ones who will decide which God. What is God? Your God could be someone. My God is someone else. We in Tamil Nadu have never ever discriminated. Let
Yes,
it be like
absolutely.
that.
Will you agree?
This is
Will you-
what.
will
No,
you
I have
agree?
completely run out of
Clap
time.
for you.
I'm a believer. I'm saying this. Any time. It can be anything. Formless God
you-
also. That's why
Sudha,
we are great.
agree? I'm asking only one question. At
I
the
don't
end.
have the time.
Will
Quickly.
you agree? Will you agree?
Sudha,
A person who is
Sudha,
an MP
see, you
elected
should
by
understand.
all the people rising, going on a religious manner, and to prove his religion and coming to the temple area, creating a chaos. Will you agree that at least?
It is a motivated petition.
It was
is
done
a
by an MP.
BJP
The entire core
petition.
issue was
All right,
started.
whether that MP did it, whether that DM did it, they are all wrong. It's a place where I need to pray. Can I be left alone? Thank you, gentlemen,
Yes,
for
absolutely.
joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed.
Thank you.